Hello friends, welcome back to SS Coins History. While some of the coins you listed do not exist exactly as described, e.g., no Liberty half dollar was issued in 1985, in the United States, coins bearing the word Liberty are common, as Liberty is a foundational national value and appears on most coinage. However, there was no coin officially called a Liberty half dollar or Liberty quarter dollar in the modern sense in 1971, 1972, 1985, 1989, 1990, or 2006. The term Liberty is just part of the design or inscription. We'll interpret your query as referring to half dollars from 1971, 1972, and 1985. These would be Kennedy half dollars, quarter dollars from 1989, 1990, and 2006. These would be Washington quarters, with 2006 falling under the 50 state. Quarters program first minted in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his assassination, replaced the Franklin half dollar. 1964 was the only year the coin was 90% silver. From 1965-1970 it was 40% silver. Starting in 1971, the coin was minted in copper nickel clad, with no silver content. Minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, usually proofs. Coins circulated nationwide, but saw declining use due to size and vending machine incompatibility. Composition: copper nickel clad. The coins you mentioned are all part of standard U.S. circulating coinage but have unique historical and collectible interest depending on the year and mint. The Kennedy half dollars from 1971 and 1972 are common, but the 1985 is collectible due to its limited release. The Washington quarters from 1989 and 1990 are typical circulating coins, while the 2006 quarters are part of a beloved collector series with geographic and educational significance. If you have specific mint marks or want to know how to identify uncirculated coins or proof sets, I can help with that too. Would you like grading tips or photos to compare your coins? The first step: the Liberty half dollar coin from 1985 does not exist as an official U.S. mint coin. However, it's likely you're referring to a commemorative half dollar that features Liberty imagery and was minted in 1986. Specifically, the Statue of Liberty commemorative half dollar, which was part of a larger program celebrating the centennial 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty in 1986. Though these coins were struck in 1985 in preparation for the release, the Statue of Liberty, a gift from France to the United States, was dedicated on October 28, 1886, in New York Harbor. To celebrate its 100th anniversary, the U.S. Congress authorized a special commemorative coin program, the first of its kind since the 1950s. The 1986 Liberty Commemorative Coin Series was part of the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation's fundraising efforts for restoring and preserving the statue in nearby Ellis Island. President Ronald Reagan signed the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Commemorative Coin Act, Public Law 99-61, on July 9, 1985. The act authorized the production of 3 commemorative coins: a $5 gold coin, a $1 silver dollar, a half-dollar clad coin. All were legal tender, although they were primarily intended for collectors. The Statue of Liberty stands on Liberty Island in New York Harbor, near Ellis Island, historically the point of entry for millions of immigrants to the United States. The coin's design celebrates American ideals of freedom, hope, and immigration, which are deeply tied to this location. The coin's imagery connects to the geographic symbolism of America as a land of opportunity, highlighting the Statue of Liberty's importance not just as a monument, but as a beacon for immigrants coming to America in search of a new life. Designed by Seth G. Huntington, depicts the Statue of Liberty as it would have appeared to immigrants arriving by ship in the early 20th century. Background: an immigrant ship is visible. Inscriptions: Liberty, in God We Trust. 1986. Designed by Cheryl J. Winter, shows an immigrant family, father, mother, and child, approaching America with the Statue of Liberty in the background. Inscriptions: United States of America, a nation of immigrants, half dollar, e pluribus unum. Although these coins are legal tender, they were not intended for general circulation. Instead, they were sold through the U.S. Mint in both uncirculated and proof formats, often packaged with informational materials or certificates of authenticity. Uncirculated coins were struck at the Denver Mint, marked D. Proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint, marked S. Uncirculated, Denver, 928,008 coins proof, San Francisco, 6,925,927 coins, due to their collector-targeted production. These coins were not released into general circulation, so any found in the wild would likely have been spent unintentionally. Denomination, $0.50, 50 cents. Composition, cupro nickel-clad, same as regular circulating $0.50. Diameter, 3061 mm weight, 1134 grams edge, reeded mint. Marks, D for Denver, uncirculated. S for San Francisco, proof. The value of a commemorative coin depends heavily on its condition, packaging, and market demand. Although not meant for circulation, some coins may be found with wear due to mishandling. In circulated condition, these coins hold little to no premium over face value due to their availability and low demand in worn states. Value, circulated. Euro 50 to 1 poyers in original packaging or slabs, e.g., PCGS, NGC, the uncirculated coins, are much more desirable to collectors. Uncirculated, BU, 4 to 8 proof, condition, with case or co, 512 graded, MSPF 69 or 70, 20 Oz 100 plus, depending on grade and label original packaging. Coins in their mint-issued holders fetch higher prices. Condition, grade. Higher grades increase value, especially if certified by reputable grading services. Demand. While not rare, they appeal to thematic collectors of American history, immigration, and the Statue of Liberty. The 1986 Statue of Liberty. Commemorative $0.50 represents a turning point in U.S. numismatics. It revived the commemorative coin program, which had been dormant since the 1950s, and helped pave the way for the modern commemorative series the U.S. Mint issues today. The coin holds symbolic importance beyond its metal content or face value. It reflects a nation's tribute to its immigrant roots, celebrating liberty and the idea of America as a haven of freedom. Coin name, Statue of Liberty. Commemorative $0.50, year on coin, 1986, minted in 1985. Purpose, commemorative, not for general circulation. Mint locations, Denver, D, San Francisco, S value today, or 50, 12 plus, depending on condition and packaging. Design, focus, immigration, liberty, Ellis Island legacy. First major U.S. commemorative coin after decades, highly symbolic. If you were referring to another type of 1985 Liberty $0.50, perhaps a fantasy coin or medallion, feel free to upload a photo or provide more detail, and I'll help you identify it precisely. The second step, Liberty $0.50 coin from 1972. However, it's possible you're referring to one of two U.S. $0.50 coins that people often associate with Liberty. The actual $0.50 coin minted in 1972 was the not a Liberty $0.50, but it does feature the word Liberty prominently on the obverse. Designed to honor President John F. Kennedy, assassinated in 1963. Alternatively, if you were referring to an older coin, the Walking Liberty $0.50, 1916-1947, is a famous U.S. $0.50 often called the Liberty $0.50, but none were minted in 1972. Assuming you're referring to the 1972 Kennedy $0.50, here's the full historical, geographical, and numismatic profile, including both circulated and uncirculated conditions. First issued, 1964, shortly after JFK's assassination in 1963. The 1972 coin is part of the circulation series begun in 1971, after the U.S. stopped using silver for general coinage. Composition, 1971 present. Copper nickel clad, no silver in 1972 issues. Outer layers, 75% copper, 25% nickel core, pure copper in, 1972. The Kennedy half-dollar was struck at 3 mints. Mint mark location. Mintage Philadelphia, no mint mark. Philadelphia, PA 153 180,000 Denver D Denver. Joe 141 890,000 San Francisco SS San Francisco, CA 3,260 996. Proof only. Proof coins from San Francisco were not intended for circulation. Obverse. Front. Portrait. President John F. Kennedy. Designer. Gilroy Roberts. Inscriptions. Liberty. In God We Trust and the year 1972 reverse. Back. Heraldic eagle based on the presidential seal designer. Frank Gasparo inscriptions. United States of America. Half-dollar value. $0.50 to $1. Nominal. Condition. Heavily worn, may show loss of detail, scratches and discoloration. Most coins in circulation are not rare and are only worth face value unless in pristine condition. Graded using the Sheldon scale, MS60, MS70. Grade description value, approx. MS60, MS63 entry-level uncirculated 1, 5 MS64, MS65 higher quality, 5, 15 MS66, MS67 scarce in this grade 20, 75 MS68, very rare. Collector grade 100 plus, especially if slabbed by PCGS or NGC, highly polished dies, mirror-like surfaces. Proof 65 plus coins typically valued at $4, $10, deep cameo, DKM examples, can be worth 20 plus. Feature detail composition, copper, nickel-clad diameter 30.6, thickness 2.15 weight 11.34, grams edge reeded. The Kennedy half-dollar was still used in circulation in 1972, but even by then its use was declining. Half-dollars had largely disappeared from daily transactions by the late 1970s due to reduced purchasing power. 50 CI didn't go as far. Bulky size collector hoarding early dates, especially 1964 silver issues, not rare in circulated. Grades millions still exist in both circulated and uncirculated form. Popular among beginner collectors for its affordability and historical value. Only rare, valuable if high-grade uncirculated, MS67 plus. Proof deep. Cameo errors, varieties, see below. Double. Diobverse, DDO, and in rare. Look for doubling on In God We Trust off-center strikes clipped planchets. These can increase the coin's value significantly, up to hundreds of dollars depending on the error and grade. Feature 1972. Kennedy half-dollar type copper nickel clad mints P, D, S, proof. Total mintage over 298 million common value. Circulated 0.50, 1 uncirculated value. Range 1, 100 plus, grade dependent. Proof value 1972 S 4 to 20 plus designer Roberts, obverse. Gasparo, reverse. Would you like a visual chart or comparison to similar coins, like the 1964 silver half-dollar or Walking Liberty? I can also help evaluate your coin if you have photos. The 3BD step, Liberty half-dollar, minted in 1971. However, based on the year and terminology used, you're likely referring to the Kennedy half-dollar, which was minted in 1971 and bears the image of President John F. Kennedy. The Kennedy half-dollar was introduced in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963. The idea was born out of a national wave of mourning and admiration for the fallen leader. Within days, plans were drafted to honor JFK by placing his image on a circulating U.S. coin. The half-dollar denomination was selected for this honor because the Franklin half-dollar, which had been in circulation since 1948, was relatively new and could be retired with minimal resistance. The redesign was approved swiftly by Congress, and the first Kennedy half-dollars were struck in 90% silver in early 1964. By 1971, significant changes in U.S. coinage were underway. The rising cost of silver led the U.S. Mint to remove silver content from many circulating coins. From 1965-1970, Kennedy half-dollars were made of a 40% silver composition. Starting in 1971, Kennedy half-dollars were minted in a copper-nickel-clad composition, similar to dimes and quarters of the time. Thus, The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar holds historical importance, as the first year the coin was struck with no silver content, making it a turning point in U.S. coinage. In 1971, Kennedy half-dollars were minted at two major facilities. San Francisco also minted Kennedy half-dollars in other years, but not for circulation in 1971. Philadelphia, no mint mark. 164,000 Denver, D mint mark. 302,097,024. These massive mintages reflected both the coin's popularity and its intended wide-scale use. However, in practice, many Kennedy half-dollars never saw extensive circulation, as Americans tended to hoard them for their commemorative value. Obverse, front. Portrait of John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. Reverse, back. Presidential. Seal with eagle and shield, designed by Frank Gasparo. Composition. Outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. Weight. 11.34 grams diameter, 30.6 mm edge. Reeded most, 1971. Kennedy half-dollars you find today are in circulated condition, meaning they've been used in commerce, have wear, and lack their original mint luster. Typical value, 2025. $0.50 to $1 most are not considered rare or valuable, given the obvious high mintage and lack of silver content. Still, they are popular among collectors for educational and historical interest. Uncirculated coins are those that never entered general circulation. These coins maintain their original mint luster, sharp details, and are graded on a scale from MS-60 to MS-70, MS-60, MS-63. Minor marks or dullness, typically worth $1 to 5 MS-64, MS-66. Noticeably better, can reach 10-30 MS-67 and above, rare. And usually certified by third-party grading companies, PCGS, NGC. Values may range from $100 to over $1,000, though extremely high grades are uncommon. Proof-like strikes, not proof coins. Sometimes exhibit reflective surfaces and can carry a slight premium. Note: in 1971, no proof coins were issued for general circulation. Proof coins were minted only in San Francisco and contain the S mint mark. These were sold to collectors. Several factors diminish the rarity of the 1971 issue: high mintage numbers. Over 450 million coins were struck between Philadelphia and Denver. No silver content. Unlike earlier years, these have no intrinsic metal value, reducing investor demand. Collector hoarding. Many people saved these coins, reducing the number that wore down or were lost to circulation. Limited circulation use. By the 1970s, the half-dollar was already fading from everyday use. To maintain or increase its value, store uncirculated coins in airtight holders or flips. Keep them away from humidity and oils, no touching with bare hands. For valuable examples, consider certification by PCGS or NGC. While the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar is not typically a strong investment on its own, it serves as a gateway for beginner collectors. It also has cultural and educational significance as part of the broader history of U.S. coinage during the 20th century. Advanced collectors may focus on high-grade certified pieces, MS-67+, error coins, off-center strikes, double dies, full bell lines, or strong strike designations. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar marks a notable shift in American coinage, representing the end of silver and the evolution of coin use in the U.S. While common in circulated condition, it remains a historically meaningful coin. Whether you're a collector, history buff, or investor, its story connects deeply with the legacy of President John F. Kennedy and the era of change that followed his death. If you have a specific coin and want help evaluating its condition, feel free to upload a photo or describe it. I can help assess its grade and potential value. The Fortin Step, Liberty Quarter Dollar Coin, also known as the 1990 Washington Quarter. The 1990 Liberty Quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, The Washington quarter replaced the standing Liberty quarter and has become one of the most recognized coins in U.S. coinage. Though no longer a commemorative coin by 1990, the Washington quarter retained the classic profile of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. This reverse design was used from 1932 through 1998, making the 1990 version one of the last before the state quarters program began in 1999. In 1990, the Washington quarters were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark on the coin. Denver Mint, marked with a D mint mark. San Francisco Mint, marked with an S. These coins were only made as proof coins intended for collectors. Each mint served different regions of the country, contributing to widespread geographic circulation. Obverse, front, features a left-facing bust of George Washington. Inscriptions: Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1990. Features a heraldic eagle with spread wings perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches beneath. Inscriptions: United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and Quarter, Dollar. The 1990 Washington quarter was a circulating coin, used in everyday transactions across the United States. Philadelphia, no mint mark. 613 792,000 Denver, D mint mark. 1927 638,000 known. San Francisco, S mint mark, proof only. 3,219,509. These high mintage numbers make it a common coin, especially in circulated condition. Composition: 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel, cupronickel clad over copper core. Weight: 5.67 grams diameter, 24.3 mm edge. Read it in average circulated condition. A 1990 quarter is typically worth its face value, 25 cents. Heavily worn coins are common and hold no numismatic premium. Coins graded MS60 to MS65, uncirculated, no wear but possibly minor flaws. Value ranges from $0.50 to $5 depending on quality and demand. These are premium condition coins and can sell for $25 to $100 plus, depending on the grading service and eye appeal. These are struck on polished dies and have mirror-like fields. A 1990s proof quarter can be worth $3 to $10, depending on grade, e.g., PR65, PR69, PR70. No known major errors or varieties make the 1990 Washington quarter particularly rare. However, collectors often seek high-grade mint-state coins, especially those with full luster and sharp strikes. Proofs are also collected as part of full-year proof sets. The eagle reverse would be replaced just 9 years later in 1999 by the first state quarter, Delaware. Washington quarters from this era are often used in coin roll hunting due to their availability and potential for high-grade finds. The 1990 Liberty quarter is not a rare coin in general, but high-grade uncirculated examples or proofs are collectible. Long-term value potential exists mainly in graded mint-state 67-plus coins or deep cameo-proof coins with perfect grades, PR70 DCAM. The 1990 Liberty quarter represents a late chapter in the long-running Washington quarter series before it was modernized in the late 1990s. While it is abundant in circulation and not typically high in value, it remains a key piece of American coinage history. Collectors often prize the coin in high grades or as part of complete sets, and it serves as an accessible entry point for those interested in numismatics. Would you like a value chart, grading guide, or images of the coin for identification? The second last step, the 2006 Liberty Quarter Dollar, officially titled Liberty Quarter Dollar in 2006. The U.S. did release state quarters during that year as part of the 50 State Quarters program. These coins all feature George Washington on the obverse and thematic state designs on the reverse, but they also bear the inscription Liberty, which can cause confusion. In 2006, the United States Mint continued its ambitious and widely celebrated 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. These quarters, though officially named state quarters, are frequently referred to by collectors and the public alike as Liberty quarters, due to the prominent word Liberty on the obverse of each coin. This series was launched to honor each of the 50 states with unique reverse designs, reflecting important historical, geographical, and cultural elements. Let's take a deep dive into the 2006 Liberty Quarter dollars, specifically those for Nevada, Nebraska, Colorado, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Initiated by the United States Mint in 1999, this program aimed to celebrate the entry of each U.S. state into the Union. 5 new quarters were released each year in the order that states ratified the Constitution or were admitted. In 2006, 5 quarters were released. Nevada, January 31, 2006 Nebraska, April 3, 2006 Colorado, June 14, 2006 North Dakota, August 28, 2006 South Dakota, November 6, 2006. Each coin retained the familiar obverse design of George Washington, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of his birth. However, the reverse design changed 5 times a year, celebrating each featured state. Each 2006 state quarter highlights key symbols and geography. Design: the Silver State. Imagery: wild mustangs, snow-capped mountains, and a sun rising behind. The range theme reflects Nevada's natural beauty and heritage tied to the silver mining boom design. Chimney Rock imagery: a covered wagon heading westward toward Chimney Rock, a famous landmark along the Oregon Trail theme, celebrates the pioneering spirit and westward expansion design. Colorful Colorado imagery: a detailed depiction of the Rocky Mountains with pine trees theme, emphasizes the state's majestic natural scenery design. Badlands bison imagery: 2 American bison grazing on the plains with the Badlands in the background. Theme: honors the wildlife and stark beauty of the Dakota. Plains design: Mount Rushmore and the ring-necked pheasant. Imagery: Mount Rushmore flanked by wheat and a flying pheasant theme, combines national symbolism, the monument, with regional identity. Pheasant and wheat denomination, 25 cents, composition, clad. Version: outer layers of copper nickel with a core of pure copper silver proof. Version: 90% silver, 10% copper, sold in collector sets only. Diameter: 24.26 mm. Weight: 5.67 grams. Edge: reeded designer, John Flanagan. Obverse: state-specific reverse artists. Each coin was minted in one or more of the following U.S. mint facilities: Denver, D. San Francisco, S. Proofs only. State Philadelphia, P. Denver, D. San Francisco, S. Proof. Nevada 243 200,000 265 ounce 200,000 for 3 0,000. Nebraska 218,000 273,000 0,000 800,000. Colorado 274 and 800,000 278 0,000 2,800 0 North Dakota 305 mud 800,000 3 or 5 9 less than that 3 or 2 800 0 South Dakota 2 or 45. The last step, Liberty Quarter Dollar coin from 1989. The 1989 Liberty Quarter Dollar, officially known as the Washington Quarter, is a circulating coin that forms part of a long-standing tradition in United States coinage, struck by the United States Mint. This quarter dollar denomination holds historical, geographical, and monetary significance. While 1989 itself was not a commemorative year for any major redesigns, the coin remains an integral piece of the broader narrative of American currency. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Sculptor John Flanagan was commissioned to design the coin, with a bust of Washington on the obverse based on a 1785 bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon. The reverse originally featured a heraldic eagle with outspread wings. The quarter replaced the standing Liberty Quarter, 1916-1930, which was considered too artistically complex and also controversial for its partially nude depiction of liberty. By 1989, the Washington Quarter had been in continuous production for 57 years. That year's coin continued to use the same obverse and reverse designs that had been standard since 1932, with some slight modifications to the minting process over time. It was minted just before the significant changes introduced in 1999 with the 50-state quarters program. In 1989, the Washington Quarter was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, or P; Denver Mint, D. Mint mark. San Francisco Mint. S. Mint mark. Proof coins only. Mint mark locations. The mint mark, if present, appears on the obverse of the coin to the right of the ribbon in Washington's hair. Approximate mintage numbers for 1989. Philadelphia. P. 512 million Denver. D. 896 million San Francisco. S. Proof only. To 3.2 million. These figures indicate that the 1989 D was the most common, followed by the 1989 P. The proof coins from San Francisco were made specifically for collectors and not intended for general circulation. Obverse, front. Portrait of George Washington. Inscriptions. Liberty. In God We Trust. 1989 mint mark. Below the portrait, reverse. Back. Heraldic eagle with wings spread, olive branches below. Inscriptions. United States of America. E pluribus unum. $quarter composition. 1989. Outer layers. 75% copper. 25% nickel. Clad. Core. 100% copper weight. 5.67 grams diameter. 24.26 millimeter edge. Reeded circulated 1989 quarters are extremely common, having been used in day-to-day commerce for decades. These coins typically show moderate to heavy wear loss of finer details in Washington's hair, and the eagle's feathers, possible surface scratches, and discoloration value in circulated condition, generally worth face value, 25 cents, though extremely worn examples may be valued by collectors for novelty or educational purposes. Uncirculated coins are those that were never released into general circulation. They are typically preserved in rolls or sets retaining sharp details and luster. No signs of wearful details visible on both obverse and reverse, often graded by third-party services, e.g., NGC, PCGS, MS65 and above, are considered gem quality MS60. And were Farsior MUD65, $5 Norris $10 MU67 plus. Up to 100 plus for premium quality coins, intended for collectors, mirror-like finish and frosted details, typically sold in proof sets, $3 to $10 depending on condition and packaging. The 1989 quarter is not rare, but it's a necessary coin for those assembling a complete date and mint mark collection of Washington quarters. High-grade examples, especially with full-strike details, command a premium among collectors who seek coins for display or grading. Error coins, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planche errors, can occasionally be found and may be worth significantly more. The 1989 quarter was used across the entire United States from Alaska to Florida and was a staple in vending machines, payphones, parking meters, and daily transactions. Millions of these coins have traveled through countless hands, marking them as everyday artifacts of late 20th century American life. The 1989 Liberty quarter dollar, though not scarce or particularly unique in most cases, holds a lasting place in American numismatic history. As a part of the enduring Washington Quarter series, it captures a time just before sweeping changes to U.S. coinage began in the 1990s. Whether as a circulation relic or a pristine uncirculated gem, this coin remains a symbol of American history, commerce, and artistry. Would you like me to format this as a printable document or turn it into a presentation-style script for teaching or exhibition purposes?